An incredible come-from-behind win for the Tampa Bay Lightning, fueled by an army of depth players and a highlight reel goal scored by Ryan McDonagh. Let's dive in on today's Locked On Lightning.
You're Locked On Lightning, your daily podcast on the Tampa Bay Lightning, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Lightning your first listen of the day. Every single day, we are your free daily Tampa Bay Lightning podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. As always, we want to begin our show with a shout out to all of you everydayers out there, all of you who tune into every single show every single week. We love you and we appreciate the support you give us week in and week out. I'm Nick Morgan, and I am joined by the Bing Crosby to my Danny K, Greg Stephen. Greg, welcome in, my friend.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy holiday week to everyone. Wow. What a comeback, huh?
What a comeback. It certainly didn't look like it was getting off to a good start, did it?
Yeah. No, I was like, oh, I'm checked out of this.
Yeah. And then the second period happened.
Yeah.
Obviously a crazy game to get to, a come from behind win against the Carolina Hurricanes. 6-4 the final score. We'll dive into that one. And the players, plural, of the game, the Lightning depth stepping up. Remember, when we did our what we wanted to see before Christmas segment, that was something that we wanted to see more from the depth players. And look what happens. Greg, are we Nostradamus?
It feels like it. I mean, lately we've been on fire.
I know we did hit the under the other day, and now this. So there we go. Also, we'll look ahead to tonight's game, the last Bolts game before the holiday break against the St. Louis Blues. Can they make Greg even more of a Nostradamus and go 2 for 3?
2 for 3. Let's go.
Holiday break. We got to enter this Christmas on good vibes.
Yeah.
A lot to get to on today's show. Before we kick it all off, do want to mention today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. All right, Greg, 6-4 win over the Carolina Hurricanes. That game certainly happened.
Yeah, man, the first period I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't look so good. And then all of a sudden, it's like a brand new team in the second.
Yeah.
14 shots to 6. Lightning notched 3 to tie the game up. I mean, you're getting contributions from every single player. There's so much to talk about in this game. Truly there is.
Yeah, you mentioned things got good after the first period, and then things got bad to kick off the third period.
Right.
And then things got good again, and things just got absolutely insane. It's a lot to talk to you. So if you missed the game, here's kind of the too long didn't read recap. First period, as Greg mentioned, just all Hurricanes and all Lightning fans wanting to slam their head into the glass. 3-0 Hurricanes after the first period, including 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. The Hurricanes scored twice on the power play, and we're all thinking, here we go again, Greg.
Yeah.
And then the second period happens, and this time it's all Lightning. Braden Point, Gage Gonsalves scored 2 goals within the first 90 seconds of the period. That seemed to jumpstart the crowd a little bit. That seemed to get the momentum back in Tampa Bay's favor. Jack Finley winds up tying it with just a few minutes left in the period. So then we go into the third period, 3-3. Just a few minutes in, Andrei Svechnikov scores to put the Hurricanes back ahead. Lightning fans a little bit on edge again. It felt like they came out flat a little bit in that third period when they worked so hard in that second to build momentum. But then the play of the game, Craig.
Yeah.
Ryan McDonagh. And important to say that this happened just within about 30 seconds of the first goal. Ryan McDonagh on like a semi breakaway.
He splits the D.
Splits the D, and then pulls the Nikita Kucherov fake deke, slithers in through the 5 hole, Like, I can't remember what Kucherov called it. It was like the ghostique or something like that.
Right.
I don't know what it was, but it was like a highlight reel shootout goal from Mr. Ryan McDonagh. Crowd's losing. My favorite part of this was when they showed like the replay of the goal going in, and you just hear the crowd all they go, "Woo!"
Yeah, exactly.
They got so hyped.
It is pretty remarkable. Like, that is the Kucherov move.
That is the Kucherov move. We're going to talk more a little bit about that because Ryan McDonagh had a funny quote after that. And then at the end of the game, Jake Gensel scores to make it 5-4. And then Jake Gensel scores again on an empty netter to put this game to bed. 6-4, the final score, Greg. I'm going to let you start with breaking this down because I certainly have no idea where we want to start with this.
Well, let's start with a slight negative. This team needs to play the full 60 minutes at some point, right? I mean, you can't open games 0-3. I mean, that's just tough.
Mm-hmm.
But now, contrary to that, I think over the last several games, we've seen them show resilience. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been down in critical moments, and maybe in some of them, like in the Penguins game, for example, a few weeks ago, they come back and tie games, and they could. The Penguins game obviously had a controversial hand pass, but
yeah,
they still show resilience regardless, right? And they come back into games that they just look so out of, and it's so weird because it just comes out of nowhere. You know, like what is said in the locker room in the first intermission that turns this whole game around? I don't know, but they got to keep saying it, right? I mean, they looked incredible in the second. Look at a whole new team. The first and the second period, polarizing. You know, I don't understand how that happens, but I got to give them props for turning it around. But yeah, the no full 60-minute games is a bit concerning for me. Outside of that, big takeaway for me, no power play goals again.
Yeah, and that's something I think that needs to improve. I mean, the Lightning were 0 for 3 on the power play.
Yep.
It's weird because at times they still look threatening.
Right.
Like, you know, the puck movement's good. They're getting lanes, everything like that. It doesn't seem like they have that one really good shot, like that one really good finish.
Right.
It seems like they're like one ingredient away from having like a Michelin star power play meal, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
It's they're looking good. The elements are there. They just need to find a way to finish. But you know, to your point, I think they've fixed some of those issues from the beginning of the season where you know they're not getting set up at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're absolutely right. I mean, some of the power plays look deadly, like you said. A lot of shots generated, possession of the puck. Just got to convert on some of these, you know. But nonetheless, plus minus.
Sure. Yeah,
right.
We can do that. So obviously I think a plus for me, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save the depth discussion, Greg. I'm going to give a plus to Ryan McDonagh.
Nice.
And you know what? One of his quotes about that goal was, you know, because everybody's like, "Oh my God, he pulled the Nikita Kucherov move. Right. How cool was that?" Blah 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 blah. He just said, he's like, that was luck.
Right. Yeah. He didn't
mean it seems like maybe the puck just slid off of his stick while going in, and just everybody's like, "Oh, what a move!" And he's like, "I didn't mean to do that."
Right.
But even without that goal, you know, Ryan McDonagh did also have an assist on the game-winning goal for Jake Gensel. He was +3 in this game, and I know that +3 is not, or plus minus isn't exactly the end-all be-all when it comes to stats, but it is a good sign that you're on there for more goals than you give up. I thought that this is the type of game in which you want to see from Ryan McDonagh. You know, this is the kind of the Ryan McDonagh game where he's that stabilizing force. He comes in and kind of does whatever you need him to do. Like, obviously not the same. We say this every time we talk about him, not the same player he was round one with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but he can come in, he can play offense. He can come in and play really solid defense. He's one of the headiest players, I think, in the NHL. Really smart positioning, really smart with, you know, when to be aggressive with a stick check, when to kind of hold back, when you have the angle, when you don't. And I think this is the type of game in which you look and it said, this is an area in which Ryan McDonagh thrives, because he can come in and kind of do whatever the Lightning need him to do in any certain situation.
Yeah, completely agree. And not only was it a great goal, and obviously he labeled it a bit of a fluke, but just the decision to split the D there and commit to going on offense alone there, I think is just a great play. He went right through him. I mean, it's a guy that you don't expect as a defenseman to kind of go for that, and he capitalized on that. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, you love the aggressiveness.
Right. And the confidence. But that's a guy, that's him. He's a confident guy.
Yeah. Greg, do you have another plus?
I do. And it's the 1-on-0 breakaway king, Jack Finley, who just seems to convert on all his breakaways.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a finisher.
Yeah. And that's something I didn't think we'd be saying 2 weeks ago, right?
No, I mean, he hasn't even drawn in the lineup a ton lately, but every so often he sneaks in there and he gets himself a breakaway and he doesn't miss.
Yeah, and I think this is the first game in which he was recalled after a little conditioning stint.
Mm-hmm.
So good for Jack Finley to get on the scoreboard here. And again, that was, Greg, the goal that tied it. So that was, I think, an important goal for him.
Yeah.
And it was also an important goal for Dominic James, who set that play up for him, because Dominic James is a player that we've said, had gotten off to such a good start to the year and then had gone a little bit quiet. So yeah, good to see some depth guys stepping up more, of which we'll talk about in a little bit. Greg, did you have a minus besides the slow start?
Yeah, I think it's just converting on the power play. 0 for 3 here, and you just want to convert at least one of those probably. I thought the top line didn't look bad by any means, but it definitely wasn't their best game.
Yeah. For me, I'm with you. I'm going a little bit of a slow start there. You would love to see them play the good 60 minutes. I guess the other devil's advocate, though, is that you want to see a team that can recover from those slow starts.
Right.
And I think for me, that's something that we talked about, where we want the Lightning, with everybody injured, with so many holes in the lineup, with maybe you playing a different combination of guys every single night. I think that, you take a game like this where maybe you get overrun by a good team early, but you find a way to kind of come back and find a way to win.
Yep, absolutely. Completely agree with you.
Yeah. For me, the big key to the game, Greg, was depth for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So many depth players stepped up in this one. We'll look back at some of the key players, plus what depth is going to mean for this team moving forward as we head past the holiday break. More coming up on today's Locked On Lightning. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. There is nothing like being near the ice during hockey season. We're talking the speed, the hits, the atmosphere, the Ryan McDonagh accidental highlight reel goals. It's all unmatched. Watching at home is great, but being in the building is a completely different experience. And the only thing that can get in the way is buying tickets. All those long queues, endless screens, and prices that change right before you hit that checkout button. It can be frustrating. That's why the Game Time app comes in handy. It's the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is the hack for unlocking amazing NHL tickets in just a few taps. One of my favorite things about using Game Time is the zone deals. All you have to do is pick the section in which you want to sit in, and Game Time picks the seats for you, and you save even more. One of my other favorite views is the view from my seat. All you do is, like, if you pick a specific seat, you can see the exact view of the ice from that seat. So you're not sitting in any sort of weird view or obstructed view. You know exactly what you're getting into. Also, I really love that the fees are included up front. So the price that you see when you're scrolling is the price that you pay when you check out. So take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. We're back on Locked On Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. And Greg, To me, the key to the game against the Carolina Hurricanes and that 6-4 win for the Lightning was depth. Now, obviously, we've been talking about players like Braden Point stepping up recently. We've talked about Nikita Kucherov on a hot streak, Jake Gensel, 2 goals in this past game. It was a good game for him. We even talked about the blue line, a guy like Darren Radish stepping up. We've talked about all the guys who have been stepping up and putting up big points on the scoreboard. We wanted to see more from the depth guys. And then you go up and down the score sheet. And, we talked Dominic James had 2 points in this game, 2 assists. Nick Paul got a point. You had Jack Finley, as you mentioned, score a goal. Gage Gonzalez, that's somebody that we really wanted to see step up, score a goal. Max Crozier had an assist. Dastu had 2 assists. Mosier got an assist from the blue line. That to me was the key because, look, we know that the Lightning big guns, Greg. We know what they're capable of. We know they're going to get their points.
Yep.
But to me, you don't win a game like this unless you get contribution all the way around.
Right.
Like you need all 4 lines cooking to beat some of these good teams and stage a come from behind win like this and recover if you're off a little bit early. You need that. And that's exactly what we wanted to see more from the Lightning is exactly what happened.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think prior to these last 3 games before break, I had said this was the game I kind of expected to maybe lose. And they proved me wrong, right? I mean, yeah. And they did that by using the depth. I mean, it's just that simple. And I thought Dominic James looked excellent in this game. I don't know how much anyone else noticed him, but man, I felt like every shift, I could just see him so clearly. Like he was like the guy. And I've kind of felt that way lately about him. I kind of feel like he's been looking really, really sharp. And I'm wondering if that's been like the in and out of the lineup thing kind of getting to him. He's like, you know what? I'm better than what I've been. And I can see it. Every shift he's given 120% at this point. And I think that's kind of firing up Gage too, to be honest with you. I think they have really good chemistry. When they play together, they just look so naturally like in tune. And I actually love them together. I hope that is a continuation because I would love to see those two like develop together further.
Yeah.
But like you said, then you have guys entering the lineup like Finley, who can just notch a quick breakaway goal when you need him to, because that's what he does now. Even Holmberg had an assist, right? I mean, Yanni had an assist. Just everyone, like you said, kind of contributing to this win. I think without the depth, you don't win this game. How about Dastu?
Yeah,
I thought Dastu looked great in this one. Yeah, I really, it's amazing. It is, because I think with how many injuries that we always talk about, to have the young guys kind of drive the force of this team, especially against such a strong Carolina Hurricanes team. Let's not pretend like this is an easy win by any means. Like, I mean, this is one of the best teams in the league. And for the depth and young guys to step up and kind of win this game for the Lightning, it just really encouraging moving forward.
Yeah. We remember when we were talking about kind of the injuries piling up, right. And I kind of begged the question, is it too much?
Right.
Is it too much? Like, are we asking guys to do too much in roles they're not capable of?
Mm-hmm.
What we saw against Carolina is the antidote to exactly that question I asked.
Yeah.
Which is, look, you don't necessarily have to have Dominic James and come in and play on the first line for 20 minutes, but right. You want to see what happened, which is he played, I want to say, 10 minutes, 11 minutes?
10:44.
But he made those minutes count, and he came in, and when he was on the ice, I agree with you. He looked really good in this game. Gage looked really good in this game. Mm-hmm. They both made their minutes count, and that's kind of I think maybe what I want to see moving forward is more of the making the minutes count. Like, look, yes. We're not asking you to go out there and play 17 minutes and be Jake Gensel. We're asking you to go on the ice and win your matchups when you're out there and make plays happen when you're out there. I think if the Lightning can focus on that with some of these depth players, I think they have a recipe to really survive a stretch like this where everybody is hurt and there is some roster chaos. And on that same vein, like I said, that's exactly the recipe to beating a team when you're down 3-0 is the guys that you put out there start winning their matchups. And that's what they did. And I was very encouraged to see that. And that's, I think, as up until the Lightning start getting guys back, I think that's the key for the Bolts moving forward is more of that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, dude, Gage, I said it in the beginning of the year. I really thought Gage was going to be like a 60-point guy this season. I think he had a bit of a slow start, but he's looked a lot more alive this season or the last few weeks as well. Yeah. And I think, like I said previously, I think Dominic James is a big part of that. I mean, they just have like a similar kind of game. And I think the energy of Dominic James kind of brings more out of Gage. And that's why I think I really like them together. And I know this is about depth, but how about Braden Point? I mean, he still looks like himself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he notched a goal in this game. And I don't want to overlook that at all because I think it's important that, the stars stay themselves. And Braden Point obviously had a slow start, but to see him continue his points, super encouraging. And Cooch, he had an assist. I mean, not that, we're kind of used to having a 2 to 3 point night from Cooch in these kind of games, but you didn't even need him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got an assist from him in one, but for the most part, it really wasn't him driving this win at all, and that just proves to you, like you said, the guys making the minutes count in the depth. I mean, they all were stepping up, every single one of them. There's not a guy on this list that I can say played poorly or I don't think gave 100%. I mean, it was just a full effort from a full team. And again, outside of that first period, that in my mind is a bit unacceptable. You can't start that way, especially at home. Nonetheless, I mean, you really can't start that way at home.
Yeah,
especially after we've seen it happen multiple times this season. Just to show the resilience with the depth, come back and just dominate 2 periods. I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, really it is. I was not expecting such a big turnaround from this team.
No, I mean, you want to, obviously I agree with you. What you said earlier, you want a 60-minute game. You want to see them dominate from start to finish. But I will say in terms of context, one of the more impressive wins, I think,
absolutely
of the season to be able to come back and get that. Can they make it 2 for 3 on home games before the break? Remember, Greg, you said that was what you were looking for. If they won 2 out of 3 in the 3 home games before Christmas break, you would be happy about where the Tampa Bay Lightning are right now. They have a chance to do that tonight against a St. Louis Blues team that has, let's just be honest, has not been good this season.
No.
Can the Bolts avoid an upset and get the win tonight headed into holiday break? We'll have a little preview of it when we come back. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly the entire game feels different. That's exactly what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. Maybe a receiver gets hot. Maybe a defense starts to tighten up, or there's a big turnover and momentum of the game flips on its head. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment live with live bets. The live spreads and money lines adjust instantly whenever there's a big play. Player props update as guys heat up. So if Baker Mayfield's tearing it up through the air, you can bet more on his stats. You can also place bets on everything from next touchdown scores, drive results, point totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. We're back on Locked on Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. And Greg, let's get to tonight's game between the St. Louis Blues and the Tampa Bay Lightning, 7 o'clock puck drop at Club BMI. Yeah, Greg, this is one that you look at everything that's happened over the last week or so, or the past couple weeks, and if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you see the standings, you kind of lick your chops a little bit and say, this is a game that we probably should win.
Yeah.
Greg, how did the Lightning do just that?
Nick, before we dive into this,
okay,
I think that we would be doing hockey as a whole a disservice if we didn't mention an important thing that happened yesterday.
Okay.
How about Sidney Crosby passing Mario Lemieux for most points in Penguins franchise history at 38 years old?
That's impressive.
I just want to give him his props.
Are you telling me this because before the season I said the Penguins were washed?
No, but I'm glad that it also proves that to me. But no, yeah. I mean, he's just one of the greatest of all time. And I think I would be failing as a hockey freak if I didn't give him the props he deserves. I mean, 8th in NHL history. I mean, it's just, and it's Lemieux. I mean, to pass Lemieux is just, I just think it's remarkable. So I just wanted to give Crosby a little bit of a hand.
Okay. Yeah. No, I respect that. I was a big supporter of the legends.
The GOATs. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
I was a big supporter of the GOATs. Anyway, hey, the St. Louis Blues play the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, Greg.
Yes. Okay. Where to start here? I think Binnington has not looked good this season. And I think he has been the backbone of the Blues. And their backup, Joel Hofer, I think is how you say his name, also very mid. I think this game is going to be just shots on goal. I think you just got to put the puck on the net as much as you can. And as we've seen the depth, they've been cranking them. And we've put up a ton of shots in the last few games. I don't know how much you've noticed that, but just tons of shots generated. And even against like the Islanders, when you're losing those games like 2-1, the shot attempts have been like 60, 70. And it's just the Islanders block like 25 shots a game. And it's like, it seems like they're not generating a ton, but they are. And I think that that's going to be huge in this game. I think you just got to put the puck on the net. You want some offense generated by everyone, full shifts. And I'm going to harp on it again. 60-minute game.
Yes.
Don't start this game slow at home. Let's get out there and just like, let's get a goal in the first 10 minutes. How about that? That doesn't seem super unreasonable.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting because I think it is going to come down to goaltending, like you said. St. Louis's defense, look, I know what their standings are. Their defense isn't built that bad. You know, they have some really strong players up there. You know, Colton Parayko has been a beast for such a long time. So is Justin Falk.
Yeah.
You have, you know, up and coming guys like Philip Broberg, who's I think played well this season. The Blues are actually, if you look at their sort of like their shot attempts allowed per game, they're not bad. They're in the top half of the league in terms of total defense, like in shots allowed, but their goaltending, they are tied for the Oilers for worst in the league in goals allowed. So that's going to be the big key is how well the goalies do in this game. And I'm including, I would assume Vazzy tonight, just because I think you want, after that injury, you want to have him build up some time, especially with the, you know, break coming up.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to come down to that performance of both sides is, look, this may be a game. I know you've said that there's, you know, going to be a lot of shot attempts on goal. It's kind of like what I said with the depth ice time. It's like, if you're out there, you got to make it count. And if you're putting pucks on net, you have to make those shots count. So I don't know if we'll necessarily see like, you know, 70 shot attempts for the Lightning this time, but the ones that are, you want to make them challenging. You know, maybe, you know, you do make that extra pass and try to set somebody up in the slot. You kind of want to make it unpredictable for whoever St. Louis has in goal, whether it's Binnington, whether it's Hofer. This is a game that I think how well the goaltending does is going to directly impact the game.
Yes. And it's funny because I've seen some comments on a couple previous videos that it just seems like when the Lightning play teams like this, they just get goalied. So I kind of almost expect a great Binnington game, which only makes me feel like, okay, we got to come out hot and play the full 60. One thing I want to mention is that there is no player on the Blues roster right now that has 5 or more games played that is positive in the differential, except for Robert Thomas. And he's the only guy with more than 20 points on this whole team as well. I think you shut him down, and it kind of makes me think of how the Panthers shut down Kucherov. I think if you take Thomas out of this game, not in a dirty way, I just mean, coverage wise.
Yeah.
You win.
We're not the Panthers.
Right. We're not that. But no, I think you isolate him a bit and you kind of take away his space a ton. I don't think this team generates a ton of offense either. But that being said, they just toppled the Panthers the other night. So you never really know. This is not a gimme game by any means. I don't want anyone to take it that way. But I do expect a W from this game. I mean, of the 3 final games, this is the one I was kind of marked down to have as a win. So I do expect them to win, especially at home.
And of course, now that you say that, Robert Thomas is going to have 0 goals, 0 assists, and Oscar Sundqvist and Nick Bjugstad are going to have they have hat tricks each in a 7-1 blowout.
Yep, the Kyrou hat tricks coming.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on paper, it's like you said, the Lightning should, in theory, win this game.
Yeah.
There's so much that can happen. And for me, if I'm the Lightning, I just want to see them play well. And look, maybe this is a game in which you want to see them play a complete 60 minutes. And if they run into good goaltending, they run into good goaltending. Right. I'm kind of more of the Lightning just focusing on doing some of their things right. And if you're Kucherov on that power play, if you're Jake Gensel, I want to see the finish. Like I want to see the power play kicking into gear in this game. So
yeah, and the penalty kill for the Blues is only 25th in the league, 77%. So it's a good team to get that power play converting before the break.
Yeah. Hoping for a win tonight. This is the last game before the holiday break. So the Lightning do have some rest coming up. We here on Locked on Lightning have a lot of special content coming up to you for the next couple of weeks, including tomorrow. Greg, it's everybody's favorite holiday. Can you guess what it is? Are you a Seinfeld fan?
Not crazy about it.
It's Festivus, the airing of grievances.
Right.
So on tomorrow's show, we are going to be having Hockey Festivus, where we unleash on some of the things bothering us Lightning fans around the league. And then on Christmas Eve, just in time for you and your travel plans, we're going to be doing a round 1 or a part 1 wrap up of the Lightning season so far, what's been going well and what needs to improve in the second half. And then next week, after Christmas break, we'll be having our year in review. We'll look back at some of the Lightning's biggest storylines, some of the biggest story rounds along from the NHL, and looking ahead to things that we're most looking forward to in 2026. So we may not have full recaps or anything like that for you because we are 2 guys who enjoy traveling for the holidays and we're not going to be at home, but a lot of really good content to keep you guys locked into what the Lightning are doing this season and to make you feel like an expert at your holiday party when you're talking about the Bolts. For all of you, we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode. Thanks for making Locked on Lightning your first listen of the day, and Will be back. We'll see you then.